Welcome back to Bonding. You're here at the IBS Hour with our guest, Joey Rinaldi.
Are we really starting?
Torey
Is that the way we're starting this?
Yeah, why not? You think you'd be a good nanny?
I babysat all through like middle school, high school, college.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
You were good at it?
Really good at it. I actually stayed with the parents went to like St. Bart's for a week, and I watched 3 boys in like a mansion in, when I was in college.
It sounds like a movie pitch for Disney.
It was not fun.
It sounds like some of the videos I watch.
Anyways, it was an experience. It was kind of crazy. I was in college still, or I had just graduated, so I was like 21 years old, and they just were like, "Here's the keys to the castle and 3 children. Good luck." And they,
How old are the kids?
like middle school. So one was like 3rd grade, 5th grade, 8th grade. The oldest was like 8th grade, so he was like kind of old, but they still needed someone to like drive them around and be an adult. But I had to get them to school every morning. I had to like, pick them up, feed them. It was like full everything.
Where was the mansion?
It was in Colorado, like in Boulder.
How old were you when you were doing this? You were in high school still?
I was in college. I had just graduated. I was 21.
That happens and you're like, yeah, no, I'm not having kids.
I just didn't sleep for a week. I just felt like so responsible for like 3 lives. I think they weren't my kids, so I just like was extra stressed. And then a snowstorm hit, and then they came back and they paid me $1,000, which I honestly thought was nothing because they are like heirs of Purina Dog Chow. And for a whole week, so I told them was like, I'm sorry, we should have talked about this ahead of time, but I really don't think I was compensated enough. Mm-hmm. I was thinking, $1,500. And they were like, "Oh gosh," and I was like, "Okay." They're like, "Well, we'll meet you halfway. Here's $250," and I never worked for them again. It was I was like, but it was a lesson learned. Like you never get what you don't get what you don't ask for, and also like make sure you communicate things ahead of time.
That is exactly how I felt the whole time, because they would be like spending, like, for instance, like they would go like the Beacon Theater every night to like see like every show at the Beacon, and and I would look up the tickets on like StubHub, and I'm like, these are fucking like $300 to $600 shows they're going to, and then I'd be like, "Hey, can I get an Uber ride home?" And they'd be like, "What the fuck? You think we just made of money?" And I'm
Jesus.
like, "Yeah, I think you're made of money."
Well,
was their place nice?
Oh my god, their apartment is nicer than most people's houses.
You're making me want to babysit, just like be in that in that environment, just to see what it's like.
Well, it was honestly ridiculous because they had like everything you could have ever imagined, like every video game, every iPad, like every nice thing, and they just treat it like shit. They're just throwing it around. It's just like
we're gonna play a game of touch football with this Fabergé egg and a PlayStation 5. Someone bring out the holy water from the Vatican. I'm feeling parched. Matter of fact, bring it to me in my quarters. I shall wipe my ass with it.
That's exactly how it felt, and I was like, if like there were so many times in my mind where I'm like, if I just took this, no one would even question where it went.
Like, what would you
that way
take?
when I go to your house. I got lost the first time I went to your parents' house in Connecticut. I got lost going from the bathroom to downstairs. I had to call Joey.
You had to call him?
I was like, I don't know where I am right now. I was also very hungover, and I'd never been to this house before. But I had to call Joey, not to embarrass you, right?
No, embarrass me all you want.
But your parents are very successful. They worked really hard for what they have. They're great parents. But like that was one of those things where, because Joey's not you would never know Joey like had come from successful parents. Not that he's a bum, but like he doesn't have the Greenwich,
I have welfare
feel.
attitude.
You have welfare attitude.
Yeah.
He's dressed like he both shops and works at the thrift store.
Yeah, this is quite a look.
It's a great look, and I love that he has the sweater. I'm so glad you wore
I wore
that
this for you.
Today.
I was
Thank
like,
you. I love it.
I never have a reason to wear this.
I'm saying this fit eats up, man. This is a great fit. You go to Bushwick tonight, and you are going to have so much ass, you're going to have to have a life jacket.
Where are you going after this?
I don't know where I'm going after this. Like, literally, like this time a year ago, or for like a long time, I was like a spotter where like I had like to like do spots every single night. If I didn't have spots, I'd fucking be doing open mics. Like I had all these plans and ambitions, and now I wake up without a care in the world. I don't, if I don't want to go out to comedy, I'll just stay in. Like I watched the football game a few nights ago.
What happened? What changed?
I don't know if this is delusion or not delusion. In my mind, I just felt like I performed better when I did shows I wanted to perform on.
That's a good sentiment.
And like, don't get me wrong, I'll still do other shows that like I don't want to do, but like I'm not scratching to do them. Like if I got asked to do a shitty show, I'm like, yeah, fucking let's do your shitty show. I'll come down. Right. But like I don't, and it's weird. Like the less I'm asking for spots, the more spots that I actually care about seems to be presented to me.
It's when you let go and you let the universe.
Yeah.
You loosen your grip.
And also, like, I think, like, being out so much almost, like, kind of, like, gave me, like, maybe this is in my mind, but, like, I feel like I was projecting, like, desperate vibes. Like, I need to be on your show. Now, I feel like, I'm like, it's funny. Like, I won't see a comedian for, like, a month. And now I don't see that same comedian for a month. And before, the comedian who I felt like thought I was this desperate loser asshole.
I didn't mean to sync that up. Sorry, we just drank at the same time. We made weird eye contact. Weird. Sorry, that was a lot. I didn't mean to.
I love it.
This is a great time for us to both drink. Sorry. You'll see that comedian after not seeing them for a month, and then you see them all the time, right?
No, that's not what I was going to say.
Oh, sorry.
You just did the automated. You used like the automated iPhone, like, guess what the.
I was trying to get out of the story.
No, I like. So now if I like, I'll do like jack shit. I won't do a show. I'll just do like play video games for a month. And then I'll walk out of my apartment, see a comedian I haven't seen in a month or two. He'd be like, dude, you must be doing so well. I haven't seen you in forever. Like, you must be killing it. It's like, that's how weird comedy is. By not seeing them, they think you're doing great. Because if they see you, they'll be like, they'll see the reality that your life is shit.
Yeah. No, there's, it's like dating, you know? The more you put yourself out there, the less likely you're
That's what they say.
to get something.
I haven't put myself out there in months. And
you're not getting.
Nothing's happening.
Sorry. Was that your plan? That's what you're like, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to sit right here.
Yeah, right here.
Wait for my prince to come. Then so will I. I don't know why I made you a Mario
I'm like
character.
Fiona and Shrek, but no one's coming.
Yeah. No one's coming.
Okay.
It's okay. Listen,
it's okay.
We have comedy. Comedy is there for people who are not happy and never will be happy and have something to chase that makes us think.
Yeah. We're chasing our tails out here.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's fantastic.
Love it.
Because no one's chasing them for us. All right. That came to a screeching halt.
I'm convinced the chase is the thing that's making me depressed.
The chase? No. Well, I mean, I think it always will. It's just so funny how in comedy, right? Like the more I would find myself like going out to your point of chasing, making you more depressed. Like you'd go to do these spots, or you'd do these different contest shows, or you'd do these bar shows, or you'd always
contest shows.
Oh my God, that's just so the funniest in real estate or funniest restaurant worker. You would do all this stuff because like you're like, all right, I'm selling something nobody's buying. Maybe if I do this or I'll do that, I'll get to the next thing, and then it just never comes, or maybe it does, and then when it does, you're like, oh, this didn't make me as happy as I thought it was gonna be. And then you realize, like, well, you can't kill yourself because how are you going to do that? You're going to jump off a bridge? What if you live? Then you're paralyzed. Then you got to set up a GoFundMe. Then you have to live with the embarrassment of not being able to kill yourself, right? And people got to pay for you because you don't have insurance. What are you going to do? Shoot yourself in the head? Where are you going to get a gun? Actually, that's probably a really easy thing to do.
Is it
but then
easy
you're
to
like,
do?
I got to live the rest of my life.
hard.
I might as well do it. I might as well get tortured doing something I love doing. That's where I ended up.
That's a smart plan.
And look at you chasing your dreams.
I guess so, yeah, but I don't really look at it like that anymore. I look at it like it's my job.
Mm-hmm. Well, it is
that I have a great time
that
doing.
You're paid to do.
It's my job. I get paid to do it, and I love to do it, and I have a great time doing it. But for a while, I wouldn't be allowed. Like every time a new cast of SNL came out, I would just like burn up with jealousy and rage.
How do you feel?
Because I'd be
round?
like, that should be me. I haven't felt anything about it really
That's
in
good.
a couple years.
That's growth.
Yeah.
My dream is for one of you to get like uber successful, famous. I get very depressed and sad, and you, by pity, let me open for you. And then when people are like, well, who the fuck's that sad sack of shit that's always around you? Like, he needs this. If he doesn't do this, he'll kill himself.
If he doesn't do this, he's got to go back to the nanny circuit.
That's all I want in life. All I want is to be somebody's terrible burden.
You've done a great job at mapping your life out, at riding someone's coattails while also doing things I could never imagine doing.
Like riding someone's coattails.
I've definitely
you have an hour show, potty training.
Yeah, man. Like when I first met you, you were getting potty training off the ground, which potty training is your one-man show about the time you broke your penis.
Yeah. So basically when I was 14 years old,
Are you sick of talking about potty training, by the way?
Clearly not.
I'll talk about it. Yeah, when I was 14 years old, I fucking fell on a chair.
More times you tell it, the more you're like, all right, so here's the thing. 14 years old, fucking fall, fucking chair, fucking dick, fucking plastic.
Am I saying fuck a lot?
No,
Jesus
it's
Christ.
funny watching you slip into it.
And so I broke my penis. And,
How do you break your penis?
So that's a great question. I didn't actually break my penis. I say break my penis because it's just like once you say broken penis, people are like, what the fuck? Holy shit.
right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking.
But what really happened is I you know the expression, I tore a new asshole? You ever heard that?
Yeah.
I literally tore a new asshole. I fucking split my perineum open, and that's your taint, gooch, you know what I'm talking about.
So you got a
I
new
never knew that had a
butthole?
medical term.
Yeah.
Why did I not think that had a
Perineum?
medical term? Like it was just one of the mysteries of the world.
One of my favorite moments.
Oh, we don't know what to call that. Just keep calling it a taint. We don't know what it does. We don't know why he's got it.
It's the perineum. What is exactly what is that?
It's those. So I'm gonna do a bit right now. But so my favorite thing to say on stage. On stage, I say I asked the doctor what a perineum was, and she was like, "It's the spot between like your balls and your asshole." And I was like, "What?" And she's like, "You know, it's the spot that if somebody licks it, it will feel incredible."
They said that?
No, it's a bit I do.
Oh.
But what's hilarious is in America when I do that bit, people
A doctor didn't say that to him. It was a nurse.
But when I do that bit in America, people like freak out the way Troy just did, like laughing his ass off. But in the UK, so I just came back from the Edinburgh Fringe Festival in Scotland, and in Scotland, when I would do the bit about licking the taint, nobody would laugh. They would all just like raise their hands and be like, "Wait, people lick taints?" And I'm like, "You guys, what are you doing?"
That hasn't made it there yet?
It hasn't made it to the UK. But the crazy thing is, there's sexual shit in the UK that I've found out about that does not make it here.
Queen Elizabeth died in Scotland. Maybe that's what killed her.
Licking too many taints.
She licked for the first time, and she was like, "Oh, I've seen enough."
So George's fiance died from licking envelopes. Queen Elizabeth died from licking taints.
So Charles better keep his tongue in his mouth.
My confusion came from I thought the doctor told you that's how she explained it.
So that's how I do it in the bit. Like in the bit, that's what I say.
Maybe the people in Britain thought you were saying that's what the doctor said, and they didn't get it.
They were like, "We knew insurance was bad."
I don't know how to explain. I don't know how to explain this to you. But when I'm doing the bit, I want them to think the doctor said that. That's
right.
funny.
Yeah.
Got it.
Turns out laughter's not the best medicine. It's licking. They are taint. More at this at 11.
No, in reality,
It's 11 o'clock. Do you know where your children are? Hopefully not getting their taint licked.
In reality, the doctor said perineum 1,000 times, and it took me like a week later after the whole injury thing happened for me to be like, "What's a perineum?"
I still don't know.
We just explained it. That's what this whole bit was about.
But it's the outside. I thought it was. Like
I don't think women
it's
have
the
one.
skin between the ball sack and the asshole.
But you ripped through it and you created a new butthole.
Well, I didn't create a new butt.
He created a new butthole.
I'm phoning a friend. The
skies opened up.
Take over.
They said Joey Rinaldi has invented a new hole.
Okay. Anyways, back to your whole potty training thing.
So basically, I hit my taint or my gooch so hard that it caused. Jesus Christ.
So you punctured it.
Yeah, beautiful. That's the medical word.
That's a good
that
term.
it caused trauma to my insides,
Perineum.
which made my penis and bladder dormant.
You're like what, 14?
14, yeah.
Dormant. It's like it could have just like shriveled off like a raisin, like an unused like starfish arm.
Yeah. No. This time she's right.
That was a really quick.
I'm good.
Man.
So it became dormant, and so I this is really dangerous. There was no way for my urine like to get to my bladder to my penis, so it was just like going everywhere in my insides.
Oh.
So they had to like literally open me up and like put tubes and catheters inside of me to like, drain everything.
Man.
And so for 6 months I just had to like wear 2 catheters inside of me. They called me Joey Bag, so I had a big urine bag on my leg.
Ew.
Yeah.
You had to go to school like that?
No, I wasn't allowed. I had to be bed rest. I wasn't allowed to like go to school
at 14.
At 14,
That's tough.
But so the thing is, I became a comedian, and I remember, as Troy was saying earlier, these comedians are trying to find out what they can sell to make them unique. What's their unique thing? And then finally, my dad called me up after like he saw me bomb once, and he was like, "Dude, you're not doing well in comedy. You clearly, it was literally a conversation with my dad that changed everything. My dad was like, you're trying to be like all these other comedians, Seinfeld, and like you're not Seinfeld. Be unique. Talk about your fucking broken penis. No one's gonna see that one coming. and it was the weirdest fucking thing. It like took off. The second I started doing that, I was getting booked on more shows. People were like, random venues were having me come and just do my own show, and it's still working. It's still working. People are still booking me to do this goddamn hour.
So many great things about that story, but one of the things that I love is usually it's the opposite, where like your parents call you up and they're like, "Listen, you're not doing well in this. You're trying your best. Maybe it's time to go into another direction." And your dad was like, "Listen, comedy's not going well for you. You're not that funny. You're kind of a hack. I know what we got to do. Rebrand, top to bottom. We'll start with broken penis. That doesn't work. We'll go to blackface."
It's a supportive dad.
Yeah, it's
his dad is so supportive.
It's because like there was like a dinner party like a few nights earlier in front of his friends, and I was having them all dying laughing, talking about this story.
Son, tell him the one about your cock again.
And my dad was like, "You should do this," and I was like, "God damn it,
this is
How
the
old
show.
this is the show." Come back.
Come back. This is the show.
How old were you
When this happened?
Yeah.
So I was 14 years old. And
well, I knew that, but like when you started telling.
Oh, so I was doing comedy for like probably like a year. So I was like 20. So I started when like 21ish. 20.
Okay.
So like by the time I was like 22, I was like, I gotta change this up a little bit. So I worked on potty training. I was able to book a few one-man shows, and Troy actually opened for me, and
I did.
And we were selling out, like it was selling out
at the pit,
at
right?
the pit live.
Wow.
But like, here's how stupid and naive I was at comedy. I didn't know that like shows could live on. In my mind, I was like, you do the show, when the run's over, you retire it. So I stopped doing it for like 3-4 years, and then during the pandemic, it's when I was like, I should probably do that again. So as soon as like things open up again after the pandemic open up, I was like, I'm gonna bring back that show from 4 years ago, and it's so much better. I rewatched the show I did back when I was doing it with you at the pit.
Yeah.
Versus the thing I just did in Edinburgh. It's so much different. It was so shitty back then. I was just like basically like just telling like word for word what happened. Like there was no jokes to it. I was just like I was getting laughs off like reactions alone. And,
right.
But now it's like a whole like show with like there's jokes and stuff, and it's funny.
It's funny
there's bits, Jerry.
And you did it every day for what, a month?
I did it every day. So I did it 22 times
Wow.
in like a 28-day span.
And it's an hour each time.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and the last show, the last show was hilarious. The last show, I kept getting these people who are deaf, who like I would meet on this because like basically everyone in Edinburgh is either an audience member or a performer with the show. So everywhere you go, whether you're going to dinner, getting drinks, just hanging out in the park, everywhere you go, you're pitching the show. Like I pitch a show to a waitress, an Uber driver, a homeless guy. Like you're just constantly pitching the show. And throughout this time, I got all these Instagram followers who are deaf. He kept on being like, I want to see the show, but I'm deaf. I want to see the show, but I'm deaf.
Wait, what? Why are there all these deaf people in the area?
Well, they got to go somewhere.
Because
some
some
I'm listening.
No, the deaf people aren't.
the deaf people aren't. Because
don't you have this question as well? Where are these deaf people coming from?
It's a big arts festival, so there's a lot of art shows that like you don't need hearing to enjoy it. Like there's so many different types of shows.
How many deaf people did you encounter?
About like 30, I want to say.
All at once.
And
I just
so
don't understand how you
he's
met
lucky
that
to be
many.
alive.
So I met all these deaf people. I found out there was a deaf theater. I hit
that
up
makes sense.
I hit up the deaf theater. The deaf theater was like, we'll fucking get a deaf interpreter to interpret your show for you.
Oh, cool.
So my last show, after doing it 21 times straight, and so my show every day was at 5:30 p.m. So my last show doing it was at 5:30 p.m. It ends at 6:30, and as soon as it ended, I sprinted across to the other side of town to make my show at 7 o'clock, where I did my show at this deaf theater for all these deaf people, and it was insane. This guy was on stage just doing fucking hand gestures, and I didn't realize until I was 5 minutes into my show that people don't make fucking noises.
They don't laugh?
They don't laugh. They don't laugh. So I'm fucking on stage. I'm doing my thing.
Is that a generalization, or did they? Maybe this was just at your
Maybe they
show?
think you're
No,
funny.
I kept on doing like the hack comic thing where I'm like, well, that didn't work. Like I said it like 3 times.
And they're just nodding their head.
And then
going,
like one guy
correct.
was fucking like interpreting to the interpreter, and the interpreter stopped me and was like, he says you're doing great. We just don't laugh.
No way.
And I was, because I'm like up there like being self-deprecating. I'm like this like if you could hear my voice, this would kill. But you guys are hating me right now. And then the interpreter was like, he loves you, and I'm like, oh. Well,
Were they smiling?
Yeah, they were smiling. They were definitely smiling.
I never thought about that, man. That's crazy. I mean, because they're just looking at you.
Yeah.
Right? So that's got to be intimidating.
Well, that's why I'm so thankful for Zoom comedy shows. Zoom comedy shows taught me the show must go on no matter how bad the reactions are.
It was such a horrible time period, wasn't it? It's just so crazy how quickly we started those.
Do you remember, my favorite part of the pandemic was Troy would come over, we'd be smoking weed, drinking beer, watching TV, having a great hang, and then like every hour, one of us would be like, hey, I'm gonna go in the closet real fast and do a Zoom comedy show. And like we'd have like a closet set up with a ring light and an iPhone and a thing. And like and then you'd come back in and be like, it was horrible.
It didn't go well.
And then I'm like, all right, I'm going on next. See ya. And like,
no, yeah, but there's no. I'm in a show halt right now, so that's why I've been doing sketches, and luckily, I could just text you any time of the day, and I'm like, hey, I got this idea for this one, and then Joey will send me back. Like, I don't know if anybody knows this. Now's the time to probably acknowledge it. Every single modern Seinfeld video that I've done wouldn't have existed without Joey.
Wow.
Like, modern Seinfeld started off about 7 years ago, 6-7 years ago, when Joey was helping me. I wrote this web show of my life called Bondage, where it was Bondage, yeah. There was like 12-minute episodes that were like things that had happened to me.
They're incredible.
They were some interesting.
You should make a Patreon and put them on the Patreon.
I have them hidden somewhere.
Put them on the Patreon. Subscribe to the Bonding Podcast Patreon.
It's good to
and
keep.
look up these fucking episodes.
Yeah,
you have the plug right there.
I'm sold already. I'm like,
Got
yeah.
I don't even know if they're actually. If you
I even looked
still,
at the camera for that one.
I know. Yeah, thank you.
No, I'm ready to buy.
We've got
Subscribe.
Where do I pay?
We've got some mutual former friends that were on that, so I think I got rid of most of them off the YouTube. But maybe if I dig them up, I'll find them and I'll post them.
They're Patreon worthy.
But they were like
the blackface episode.
Yeah, that's a real thing. There was a blackface episode.
I'll never forget.
Okay, so full context before anybody goes looking it up. There was it was an episode where I had a cousin who was a magician that came to stay with me, and I was dating a black girl, and he was a bad magician, and he was trying to do his character of his called Shadow Man while she was in the bathroom, and he like starts putting like this brown paint on his like black paint on his face. He doesn't realize it looked like blackface, and then him and I tussle over it, and it all spills all over my face when my girlfriend comes out of the bathroom. So there's just blackface all over the place, and then she ends up leaving with the magician. When we shot that, I didn't realize that I should have bought like makeup paint, like face makeup paint, and I just bought like regular ass Crayola crayon paint. And
did you break out?
I remember putting it on my face, and I was like, all right, guys, we got to shoot this in like 2 minutes because it was chemical appealing. Like it was burning my skin.
You died
that's
for your
a blast
art.
from the past. I just remembered all.
Is that
of
really
that.
7 years ago?
So vivid. This was
this
was like
20.
No, this was like 2018.
Okay.
2018.
5 years ago, maybe.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Damn. Wow.
You, me, and Smelly Kev have been together for a while.
Me, K Mezek, we've been doing it for a while. But anyway, one of the episodes of the show that I had written out for that was like a modern, like a Seinfeld type show, but like with modern problems. And I just shelved that for years. And Joey and I were putting together a bunch of shows last year, and we shot the first modern Seinfeld I did. But
How bad was it?
It wasn't bad. We just hadn't figured it out. Where I was playing Jerry and you were playing George, and I played Kramer as well. But I'm glad that it didn't go well because the George one is the one I get the most love for. So I'm glad that it worked out.
And what was the light bulb moment we had?
That I should play all the characters. Well, that was your idea. You were like,
Troy was looking at me, and he was like, "You don't seem happy. You don't seem thrilled. You were like, am I doing something wrong?" And I was like, Troy, I'm doing the thing wrong. You're George. And he was like, you're George. I'm like, I can't be George. And I was like, you got to be everything. And then you were like, well, I'm already Jerry and Kramer. If I'm George, that'd be too much. I'm like, no. You got to be everything.
Yeah, then we did the Letterman thing, and then
same thing with the Letterman
same thing with the Letterman thing.
I was like, because you are the only person on this planet. He's the only person on this planet that thinks I can do characters.
I think
it sounds like you've learned that lesson a few times.
It's A, believing in Joey, and B, there have been so many times where I've had my back up against the wall and someone has bailed and Joey's the only person that's been around, and I like have to gaslight him into thinking he can do certain things. I'm like, you could do this. You could do it. And like, I'd be like, dude, I don't know what's going on, man. I'm like, don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. And to his credit, I don't think there's ever been a single time where...
Gee Willick is Batman.
There's never been a single time where I've asked him to do something and he's like, that's out of my wheelhouse. Like, he's done it every time. From whether it was everything that we've done so far for Wise Guys, including going to... Like, here's the kind of guy Joey is. I remember where this was last... spring, I want to say.
What are you talking? What story is this?
Well, we're like you called me, and you were like, this was right before we're about to launch Cannoli Fans.
Oh yeah.
And you were like, did you know there's something called Mob Movie Con? And I was like, yeah, I went a couple of years ago, before COVID, when it was called Sopranos Con. And he was like, oh, cool. All right, I'll call you right back. 3 minutes later, Joey's like, all right, so we're going to Mob Movie Con, and Rich. We got a booth at Mob Movie Con, and Rich had this nickname for me when Sam first started coming back to the club again to manage. She didn't really know a lot of the other comics, and so Rich would send me down there days where she was going to be there, and he was like, "Don't worry, Sam, I'm sending in the Wolf." That's what he called me from Pulp Fiction.
I didn't know Wolf. He called you the Wolf,
and and so during Wise Guys, I bestowed that name onto Joey because Joey is my wolf, and he is a wolf. Like he's the wolf. There's so many instances I can give examples for. The three that come to mind. Number one is we were putting together a live event for the Cannoli Fans show where we shot all the stuff for Wise Guys. And we're gonna
Cannoli Fans with a Z.
Cannoli Fans with a Z. .com. We planned a live show at Broadway to where we could premiere these sketches. And the thing about Wise Guys is like we've gotten so far and not far enough because we say yes to a lot of ideas, and we love to go big and above and beyond. If somebody has an idea and it all makes sense to us, we're always just like, let's figure out how to get it done. And one of the ideas we had for the Cannoli Fans show was we were like, we want to get a cannoli costume, a giant cannoli costume. Where can we get one? So we typed it in online, cannoli costume. It's really hard to find. The only one that was available was on eBay for like $150. Then there's this cannoli place downtown
that had the world's biggest cannoli,
and they had a costume. And so we were like, we got to call them and find out if we can borrow their costumes. So we were like, put the wolf on the case, and like 5 minutes later, he's on the phone with them, like he's trying to work out a deal. There was two things. One, he was like,
you can't have.
They were like, you can't have the costume, but you could have the cannoli. And we were like, okay, can we place an order? And they were like, no. You got to place the order day of. We make it fresh the day of. So we ordered the world's biggest cannoli, and we raffled it off.
How big was it?
No, Troy, you're forgetting the most important part of this story. It was the hottest day. How hot was it outside that day? Everyone was sweating.
Middle of the summer, yeah.
It was middle of the summer. It was the hottest day in the world. And so I go to buy the world's biggest cannoli.
How many pounds?
That's a great question. It was like probably like yay big. It was like the size of a football, man.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'd say it's the size of a football.
That's
so anyways, I show up. Hey, I'm here to buy the world's biggest cannoli. I don't think much of it. I'm just buying food. The guy's like, dine in. And I was like, no, I'm going to take it to go. He goes, nobody takes the giant cannoli to go. I'm like, why can't I take it to go? I made up an excuse. I was like, it's my girlfriend's birthday. I want to surprise her with a big cannoli. She loves cannolis. And he's like, no. This is a piece of art. We put frosting on it. We put powdered sugar on it.
What's this place called?
It's somewhere in Little
My grandmother came over to this country on a cannoli.
Like Ferrero's?
No, it's not Ferrero's. I love Ferrero's. But I have a whole story about Ferrero's later. But anyways, he's like getting mad at me. He's like, nobody's allowed to leave with this. Like
I didn't know about this. I never knew about this.
Oh wait, I told George knows about this.
No, I never knew.
All right. So this is great.
Did you smuggle the cannoli out?
So this is great. So it's an Italian restaurant that has like pizza and stuff, and like the giant like it's supposed to be a dessert for like 5 people to share.
Right.
And so he's like, "You're alone," and I'm like, "Yeah, but I'm paying it to go." He goes, "I will not permit you to take it to go." I'm like, "I'll pay for 2 if you let me take 1 to go." And he's like, "No." And I was wearing like a purple shirt. I can't speak right now. And I was like, this guy is not going to trust me. So I left. I changed my shirt. I had a shirt in my bag. I had a baseball hat. So I put on a different shirt, baseball hat, sunglasses. So now I'm incognito. I'm incognito.
Hello, I am Torey Rinaldi.
I'm incognito.
I'm your cousin of the last man
I'm incognito. And I go there. And
I thought you said you were in sunglasses.
And so I wear the sunglasses and I go to the restaurant.
Same guy?
No. And I go and there's a female hostess. So I go, "Can I get a table for 1?" Can I get a table for 4? My 3 friends are meeting me soon. And she was like, "Great." And I was like, "Okay, I was hungry, so I was like, I'll get a pizza, and can I also get the giant cannoli? I want to surprise my friends when they get here that there's a big cannoli here."
It's quick thinking.
So the pizza comes and the cannoli comes shortly after. And then I go, "You know what? I'm going to take the pizza to go. Can I get a to-go box for the pizza?" And she was like, "Yeah, no problem." She was to go box for the pizza. I had like $100 on me. So I just like, I didn't even see how much it cost. I just put the $100 on the table. I put the cannolis in the pizza box and I fucking run out of there. And like literally, as I'm running out, I hear the guy go, "You can't take the cannoli with you." And I'm out the door. I'm out.
There's bullets flying over his head. The dogs are chasing
and like
him.
I get the product comment. George is freaking out. George's like, "What took you so long?" Because I was supposed to be like 2 seconds. Like, "What took you so long? Why did you like over an hour? Why are you sweating profusely?" I'm like, "I risked my fucking life in Little Italy for this fucking giant cannoli. You fucking show me some respect."
Dude, I never knew this. I never knew.
Was it good?
We
didn't even get to eat it.
It was
a raffle prize.
It was a raffle prize.
In a pizza box? Who would want that?
No, we put it in a to-go box. That, in retrospect, it wasn't a good idea to put it.
9 lives.
Yeah, well, we put it in one where like it had a clear container top, and it smushed, and it didn't look that good. But there's a picture of me somewhere holding it like above my head with Joey and.
And we rigged
Renee's
the lottery.
mom.
We rigged it.
We rigged because we forgot to give out the raffle tickets. So what we did was we gave.
I think we gave out the raffle tickets. We've got to check the raffle numbers or something.
Yeah,
it was something stupid.
Was it even refrigerated or was it just like a hazard?
We kept it in the refrigerator.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, we didn't. We left it out in the sun, and the winner had to drink it. But yeah, that was one of that's like
so good.
That's one of the many things that Joey stepped up and been there for.
That was quick work.
Like
I'm impressed.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I'm glad, like, my stupidity.
It's commitment.
Joey's the only person in my life that I've ever been able to find match my manic, sometimes not well thought out energy and ideas. Like, he's the person I call when I have something that's just a string of ideas or just a bunch of ideas, and he'll put it on a string for me. And then we'll fuck up that string and make it even crazier again. But then it just gets willed down. And the things that, like, if they played a highlight reel of our friendship, the things that they would see that brawl at Broadway, which we've talked about before. They would see us on Jerry Springer.
Did you fight each other?
No. It was. I don't know if we've told. I think we've told this story when you've been on before. But long story short, I don't know if I told you this. There was a night where there was these drunk kids.
Is this a tooth story?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, I know this story.
That story.
Okay.
Basically, one of the highlights is a guy and his girlfriend went to attack me at the same time. He goes to punch me. As he goes to punch me, I duck. As I duck, he punches his girlfriend full speed in the mouth. Her blood and teeth come flying out. The cop shows up. She grabs the cop and goes, pointing to me, "That man punched my tooth out." But I'm standing next to her boyfriend at the time, who has a bloody fist. Mm-hmm. And so he picks up my hand, picks up the guy's hand, and the cop in front of me looks me dead in the eye and goes, "Your hands are feminine. You couldn't punch someone's teeth out." And then he picks up the guy's bloody hand and goes, "This is the guy that punched you." And she was like, "But he's my boyfriend."
This guy hits women. I know, because I'm a cop.
Yeah, and I'm just like, he insulted me, but he's not pressing charges. This it's a win.
Yeah. He was like, "There's no way that a pussy like this would end up in jail."
Do you remember how aggressively like mean the cop roasted me?
Yeah,
like,
there was.
He's like, this guy did not cause any of the drama.
He was pretty relentless to the other people too. Because I remember him being like, because they were the ones who called the cops, the one who started the fight, and the cops were like, "You should have gone home. What were you doing here?" And that was like maybe like 3 months in us knowing each other. We had that. Then we went to the gay pride parade not long after that. And that time we went to other George's house after a Broadway spot. We went out with this older, because like you start out, you look at all these comics like they're gods.
Yeah.
And there would be this guy that was at Broadway all the time.
He was the guy that made me
I picked up on that.
He was the guy that made me realize saying you've been featured on
not directed at you.
It felt directed toward me.
He was the comedian.
No, it's just a really true statement. It's and then the shine wears off.
And then the eye contact directly blared at me.
Not
no,
true.
what were you saying? Sorry, he was like a god that we.
Not
call.
everything's about you.
Say is that this is like if you listen to this podcast right now, this is important for anyone listening to this podcast right now. This man George taught me and Troy that the phrase "you've seen this comedian on Comedy Central" is a fucking lie.
Bullshit. Yeah.
It's a lie. It's not real.
Or
no one's ever been featured on Comedy Central ever.
It's a pretty vast platform at this point.
That's a lie up there with like 20 minutes. I'll be there in 20 minutes. No, you won't. Nobody's there. 20 minutes is a lie.
20 minutes doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
No one has ever. I've seen the minutes 20 ever. It's never come. It's never.
Rarely. But yeah, we went out with one of those guys.
What a tangent! Look at it. You bringing us back. That's good.
What? Oh, no,
Timmy
because
tangents over here.
This tangent will never end. I have to.
You guys are a living tangent.
Yes.
I'm glad I'm in the middle of it.
And we went back with this guy, and I remember just to give you an idea who this guy is. One time, I remember you called me. And you were like, yeah, this guy just said I just ran into this guy in the street, and I told him I was doing a show with Mark Norman. And he was like, yeah, Mark Norman, he ain't never going to make it. This was like 2016. The guy said that.
When he told us, he was like, yeah, Troy, Joey, I would love to do your bar show. But the thing about me is I don't get on stage unless I'm making $500 minimum.
Yeah. And we went back to this guy's house to like smoke some weed and chill. And
10 roommates?
Yeah, he had like 10 roommates that were running through the house. He was like, all right, now we can get a little baked. And he pulls out like the tiniest sliver of weed for the three of us, and then drove us all the way out to Glendale, Queens. I also want to point out, asked us to hang.
Yeah.
This guy's like 60, asked us to hang out. We were like, yeah, we want to hang with this dude, whatever. We get all the way out to the apartment not far, which is very far from where either of us live. And he was like, all right, you guys know how to get home, right? We were like, not really. And I don't remember how we got home, but Joey crashed at my place that night, and we fell asleep watching old Leno and Letterman clips together, and that was one of our first bonding experiences.
It's adorable.
One of the greatest things he said to me and Troy that night, I'll never forget, is he goes, you guys aren't successful. You don't do the successful things I get to do. Like, for instance, I get to be involved with the Puerto Rican Day Parade. And Troy and I both looked at each other like, neither of us are Puerto Rican. I don't think success will ever allow you and me to be a part of the Puerto that was like his big flex. He was like, yeah, next week's the Puerto Rican Day Parade, and I'm gonna be on one of the floats. And I'm like, are you Puerto Rican? He goes, yeah, 100% Puerto Rican. I'm like, yeah, you qualify.
As if that's the thing that keeps me. I go to the therapy every week, and I'm like, yeah, I've sold millions of albums.
Flex?
I've been to what happened?
That was his flex.
That was his flex. Yeah.
Sorry.
Remember, he didn't shut about it. For like,
I mean, I cut you off.
How long
At least you're not Puerto Rican.
That's not what I'm saying.
Which is what he was,
and I'll never be the host of Telemundo.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I do wish I could speak another language, because like I'll watch like Ian Lara on like Telemundo or something, and like he'll talk in English and then fluently translate into Spanish. That's I never do New Year's resolutions. I'm really, this year, my New Year's resolution is I'm going to stick with a full Duolingo lesson on Spanish.
Just one lesson?
Well, hopefully that'll inspire me to do more.
Okay.
Because like you, I'm trying to eat healthier, take better care of whenever someone in my family gets diabetes, I always am like, oh, it's coming for me.
I'm sorry.
That was quite a pivot from learning Spanish to being healthy to diabetes.
Well, it's all connected, mind body connection, you know. Because I think about my diet, and then that only gets you so far, and then like I'm like I gotta learn a new skill. I've tried learning guitar. I'm not a musical guy.
Really, you tried?
I've tried, and my brain just doesn't make.
I apologize.
Doesn't connect those wires. You know.
You said every time a family member in my life gets diabetes, as if like it's a passage of right or rite of passage.
We have a group text. It's like, oh, sorry, it got me. That's how rampant it runs in my family.
You said that as if like when people like get their first gray hair, you know? Yeah, when they get their first gray hair, when they get their first diabetes, when they get their first anal hemorrhoid. Like
when you get a gray hair, you gain something. When you get diabetes, you lose a toe.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to hold on to
I feel
mine.
that though. My grandfather had it. My mom has it. Type 1.
My dad has it. All of my grandparents had it. Neither me or my brothers have it, but like there are times where like on like a rest day, a cheat day, like I'll get like candy or Taco Bell or whatever, and I'm eating it, and I'm like, it's coming. Like my foot will fall asleep for a minute, and I'm like, no, man, not yet. Come on. We still got half a quesarito to go through. And yeah, it's.
Now it makes sense because like we'll go to like a corner store, and I'll get like a big like Saint Delight. I'll get a chocolate bar. I'm going to town, sugar highway all the way. And Troy's like, I'm just gonna get a cigarette. I'm just gonna get a Lucy. That's it. Just a Lucy for me. That's it. I'm like, Troy, this chocolate. You don't want? He goes, no. Just like you start twitching. Now I get it. I understand.
Yeah.
I just thought you were like autistic or something.
Well, the jury's still out.
If you don't want chocolate, you gotta be autistic.
You gotta be autistic. Let me be clear. If you don't want chocolate, you are autistic. You know. No, that's because I drink still. You know, that's what's going to give me the diabetes.
Yeah,
all the sugar and alcohol.
All those girly martinis.
Yeah, I realized the other day, I drink like a woman. Vodka, wine, White Claw.
Yeah,
I drink like a woman.
No, you don't drink like a woman,
and I do it in these pants.
I think you drink in volume.
Like a woman. You drink like a divorced 60-year-old mother. Who you got your Xanax, your white wine.
You both made very good points.
What did I miss?
She said I drink in volume. You said I drink like a 60-year-old
divorced
woman. I think those two things could be.
I think you choose those drinks because you can drink them in volume. They're enjoyable in large quantities. Like beer, after a while, it's disgusting.
I love
like
the 18th beer.
Like you can't drink like 10 Manhattans. Like you can put back wine, White Claws.
Yeah. Well, Joey knows. Like back in the day, my habit was like 2 tall Coors every night. The tall boys, the yellow ones. And
like
I remember once,
Edward Scissorhands yourself.
Yeah.
Wow.
Edward Scissorhands is his name. Sorry, that was a great joke.
If you say so.
I can't say so.
Feeling uncomfortable over here.
I cannot.
Our palms are sweaty as hell right now.
Yeah, no, I remember that was a big. You like unintentionally.
You're right. When she looks you in the eye, like you lose a little bit of your manner.
I know. Yeah, I have to fight back with the eye contact sometimes just to establish dominance. But you unintentionally body shamed me once. Not body shamed. It was a wake up call. You were like. Because I was like,
yeah, you.
I would always see you. You know me. Like I'm always. I work out a lot. And I go to the gym. We were talking about abs, and you were like, Troy, you can't get a 6-pack. You drink too much beer. And I was like, oh, that Joey. I'll show him. That you were right. You were right. I looked at my can, and it was all tall boy Coors.
Wait a second.
It's like I got to make a change here.
Wait a second.
So you changed him. You're the reason he drinks all that wine.
I remember details more than I do.
I said that, and then I think in that same breath I said, because I'm also a beer drinker.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm a beer dude. Since you've known me, what's the only alcohol you see me consume?
Yeah, no, beer, Budweiser,
Bud Heavy,
the
tall
man.
boys.
Yeah,
I drink so much fucking beer that there is abs somewhere.
You look like you're pretty fit though, considering you
look
only
good,
eat
man.
pizza.
No,
it's the
way I dress. I know how to hide the beer fat.
Well, it's working.
Yeah, but listen, this 3 days of dieting has been great for you.
Yeah, you look incredible.
You look amazing.
Svelte.
My legs are on fire. I've been doing the.
Did you do leg day today?
I've been doing
the elliptical.
I've been doing elliptical.
Don't.
She
will man shame you off of that, man.
I've been doing elliptical. I've been doing lunges. I've been doing squats.
Good for you on the
That's
elliptical.
all women
I'm happy
workouts.
Yeah, I love it.
Is he working out like a woman, or is he working
he's
out in
working
volume?
Out like a woman. He's doing both.
No. Here's the thing.
You are gonna be ovulating in no time, my friend.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Welcome.
Legs is everything. Stick with me on this. I believe in this. Your feet to your waist is that's all your support. Like the way you hold yourself, the way you carry yourself.
Your abs are engaged in that too.
Thank you. It's all down there. And if your base, the thing that holding you up, isn't strong, there's no point of having big arms or a tight stomach, because once you get strong legs, everything else will come. Everything else will come. Your arms will come. Your back will come. Everything else will come.
Who told you that?
A tree.
So this is the weirdest thing I'm gonna admit on this podcast. This is the weirdest thing I'm gonna admit on this podcast.
Okay,
now.
let me hear it.
Let
me hear it, Shel Silverstein.
Don't give too much.
My lady friend and I, I'm saying lady friend right now because we're going through a weird phase. I don't know if we're broke up, not broke up. It's a whole work. Someone just call her my lady friend.
You could have just said girlfriend and no one would have questioned anything.
Yeah, and I will cut all this out for you.
No, if I said girlfriend, Troy would have given me the eye look the way you would have given me the eye look. Okay. I couldn't handle that. Too many eyes.
Sorry.
Too many eyes.
Okay, keep going.
Fucking.
So the tree trunk.
I got 3-eyed.
Who told you about the trees?
So anyways, my lady friend once said to me, "You are so good at giving massages. How did you get so good at giving massages?" And it's the same answer to your question about who taught you the tree trunk thing. This is the most embarrassing thing about myself.
My mother.
When I was in high school. When I was in high school, believe it or not, I thought of myself as an athlete. Like I was on varsity sports. I love sports. I played sports 24/7.
24/7. Woo.
And so like my high school job that like I had in high school is that I knew this personal trainer that like trained like top athletes, and I was like, oh, I'll just get a part-time job being his personal assistant.
You were molested.
And this way I'll get like I'll get paid. I'll get paid to be fit. That
right.
was
Sorry, we just kept poking fun at it.
That was the idea, but I didn't realize all the weird odd jobs that go into being a personal trainer. One of the weird jobs was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna teach you how to stretch out our athletes and to like give them rub downs and massages, and like post workout massages, like deep tissue fucking massages.
Did he teach you those?
On men, so I thought I was getting jacked. Ends up, I'm just fucking like massaging like 25-year-old.
Turns out I was jacking off.
I wasn't jerking anyone off, but like I'm giving like these like deep tissue massages to these men, and so like my girlfriend was like, "Oh, well, how you so good massages?" I was like, my eyes started cringing. I'm like, I don't want to talk about it.
My mentor taught me the key to a good massage is to take a bunch of pills and lay down for a while. I went to Penn State.
So you worked with a personal trainer.
Yeah, that was my high school job.
And he taught you about
live anywhere near
high
legs
school. And the massages.
Yeah, he taught me about the whole leg.
What else did you learn?
Oh my God, I learned so much from this man. His name's Seth Foreman. He
learned how to zip tie a bunch of people to a basement pole.
His name's Seth Foreman, the Jewish name ever. He looks like with his clothes on, he looks like the dweebiest, nerdiest Woody Allen type Jew. And then he'll take his shirt off, and he looks like fucking Bruce Lee. He's like ripped as fuck.
Why do you know what he looks like with his shirt off?
He's Bruce Lahayim.
He worked at a gym. What do you think?
All right, the plot
have you been to a male gym? Or you go to your fancy Manhattan
gym.
Yeah,
only
what do you go to? You go to Hot Flash over there?
Flash. Yeah.
Where,
Planet Women.
Planet Women.
You don't need to be a woman to get hot flashes. I get hot flashes.
It's called Venus. I don't envy you guys.
Women.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. It's tough.
Womanhood was the through line of this podcast.
It's not easy.
It's not easy being a woman, but it is easy to get in shape, and the key is to start from the legs,
the toes,
and work
to your
around
hips.
the taint.
Well, I don't want to quote the cop from Broadway Comedy Club, but he thinks I'm very in touch with my feminine side, and I'm okay with that.
I think you are too.
Who said that?
The cop who said I had feminine hands.
Oh,
I remember one time my mom told me that she was like, when I was pregnant with you, the doctor said you were either gonna be a girl or a really sensitive boy, and I was like, you didn't have to tell this in front of my prom date, Ma. Like, there was all chances of me getting laid tonight.
And you didn't?
Did not get laid.
Damn.
Ever once after prom.
Prom was the biggest blue balls ever, because you watch all the movies that like you go to prom, you bang your girl, bada bing, bada boom. And then I learned that them being your prom date doesn't mean they want to fuck you. It just means you were the only guy who asked.
It means you were the one who bought a flower for her wrist.
Yeah.
I wonder if they still do that.
They do. My brother had prom last year.
Did he bang?
I don't know.
But he bought the
live
flower.
Stream cut off right before. He has a girlfriend. Well, I don't want to embarrass him too much. He listens to this show.
He does. Hi, Jack.
Shout out to Jack.
Yeah.
Send nudes.
And Mia. I want to give Mia a shout out
to Mia.
Hi, Mia.
Bought you these beautiful flowers.
Yes, thank you for my flowers. They're so pretty.
And shout out
if you come to Greenwich, you got to bring these.
We're not going to let you in unless you give Torey her poppy flowers.
Those are roses.
I know, but
you meant Greenwich Comedy Club.
Way to yes and there. Greenwich Village Comedy Club.
Yeah, I was thinking Greenwich, Connecticut.
You go there and you'll get lost in Joey's house.
Yeah. Go to the bathroom and you won't find your way out.
You won't come out. There's
You're
another
Greenwich?
Kennedy there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm from Greenwich.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's where he lives out. Well, is there anything you want to plug before we get out of here?
You know what? I don't think for the first time in a long time, I got nothing to plug, and it feels fucking fantastic.
It feels great.
Well, you did plug our Patreon. So.
Yeah, check out that Patreon.
We have a Patreon?
Go check it out.
Yeah, Joey plugged it.
Oh wait, no, I do have something to plug.
That's how it works.
My storytelling show, or as Troy calls it, my fairy telling. What do you call it?
Oh,
fairy tale show.
Yeah, fairy tale show. Oh yeah, that's what I said on Jerry Springer.
Jerry Springer. My storytelling show, Bad Trip, is officially back. We are the first Sundays of the month at QED in Astoria, and we're the third Saturdays of the month at Easy Lover in Williamsburg, Brooklyn. Come on down to my show.
Both great venues. That's a great show. I'll have to get out there one of the Sunday ones. That's right down the street from my house.
Oh, and then Joke Lab is back. My show.
Tori's show, Joke Lab at the late bar,
yes,
right?
Yes.
Not far from here.
Not far. Well, let's not say that. But
they don't know where we are.
That's true. But
we are at
the 27th of October, the late.
27th of
8
October.
o'clock.
What day of the week is that?
Thursday,
October 27th, the
Joke
late
Lab.
bar.
Mm-hmm.
Joe, I've got some road dates coming up that Joey's setting up right now, so I'll have
Baltimore?
that to plug.
Yeah,
Baltimore, Massachusetts, Iowa. What else are we working on?
Iowa.
Northern California.
We got lots of stuff.
Texas.
Working.
I'll be back in Florida February 3rd and 4th in St. Petersburg, and we're gonna announce some. We got to set up Miami, Orlando, and Tampa stuff this week. So I'll have more of that coming up as well, and hopefully the website will be up at the end of the month, and all that will be
the
up there on the
website.
thing. Yeah,
your website.
My website.
Wow, what's it we called? Troy Bond.
TroyBond.com.
Beautiful.
No, that's taken.
Really?
Yeah.
That's sad.
I know. Well, the only thing holding me back from creating the website is coming up with a name.
Troy has Ebola.
Comedy.
Troy Bond Comedy, that works.
Just lame.
But also, you're so much more than Troy Bond Comedy.
I know. I'm Troy Bond the man, Troy Bond the rapper, Troy Bond the poet, the spoken word.
Yeah, how many titles do you have in your Instagram bio? Rapper, comedian,
natural redhead?
juggler?
Yeah, it's just the same one, natural redhead.
But you know those comedians that
I used to have that up there because they told me to do that. They were like, you need to put emojis and stuff in your bio. And I'm like,
emojis?
Yeah, like an emoji to go along with what your job description is. So a comedian be like the laugh emoji. Singer, you do the microphone or music, and it just feels very corny to me. Stripper, eggplant, yeah, it just feels corny. I like the bios that I've had for years,
and stick to what.
And I think that's all right.
And I'm the Joey Rinaldi on Instagram, and my bio is very simple. It's I tell stupid stories. Very simple.
About your
Joey
broken
Rinaldi,
penis.
just Joey Rinaldi.
The Joey Rinaldi.
The Joey Rinaldi.
That's a move right there.
Torey Cole menopause.
Hot flash Cole.
Hot flash Cole.
That's good.
This coleslaw has gone a little sour. And mine is at. I don't have to tell them.
No, they
that's
don't.
That's how they found us in the first place.
But
follow us on IG, Bonding Pod, and subscribe to the YouTube if you're listening.
Yes.
All right, let's go grab some Tampax.
Wee.